Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Reporting, just did a reading on Trump and Jack Smith, but one thing I didn't ask about, I'll ask now. There was reporting saying that Jack Smith has access to Trump's cell phone records, or basically the White House call log was missing entries for about 7 hours on January 6, 2021. And the indications are when I think it was when Jack Smith filed his appeal with the Supreme Court to take up this case. There was information on there that basically indicated that he had access to Trump's phone records and could correlate calls, incoming or outgoing calls, with the number that Trump had, or if the Twitter app was open when Trump was posting up on Twitter. Just basically having not necessarily the call. The call wasn't tapped, so not having the actual conversations, but knowing who's calling in and where the calls are going out to. It's not clear if he has text messages from this, but some analysts were calling it like the potential Holy Grail of evidence, because it's one of the things that can tie Trump with all the actions going on. So I want to find out, is it really the Holy Grail in this January 6th case? Entertainment purposes only. Does the information that Jack Smith has gleaned from phone records and Trump's phone, is that a Holy Grail? Something incredibly important and will help with the conviction of Donald Trump in the January 6th trial. Oh, we have the Emperor, large and in charge, crossed with the King of Wands, the Justice Department. I don't think of the Emperor as being Trump here. I think the Emperor as being kind of like the court system and this investigation involving the Department of Justice. So is this the Holy Grail? Is that King Arthur? I think you've got King Arthur and a king in here, and knowing what to do with it, planning. I think there's no Grail card in here, but the Emperor could be pretty darn close to that, crossed by another king card, which I do tend to use as my Department of Justice card. So is it? So far, sure, it sure is looking like it. In the past, we have the High Priestess. Lots of major arcana jumping out here. High Priestess is in the past. It's, divine feminine knowledge, wisdom. If you on high energy, you ask her the questions, she provides the answers. It's a mystery, kind of like the Moon card, but in this case, the mystery is revealed if you simply ask the questions. So if you have this phone, I guess when Trump and all are subpoenaed, that information went missing. The call logs went missing. But if he's got that phone and the call logs can now be found, that sounds like some pretty good information. It's a game changer. Current situation is the Fool card. Having that information is a game changer. This is all new. This is opening up a whole new avenue of questions and accountability and information that we didn't have before. And it could really undermine the defense, because the defense was counting on, these calls or these phone calls who you're talking to not being remembered, asking Jim Jordan, did you talk with the president on January 6th? And he's like, has no idea. He will absolutely not answer the question. And you can see his brain buffering. He looks like Bugs Bunny drinking some poison or something like that. All the face contortions and the strange hand movements and stuff like that. Again, more Bugs Bunny humor. But also, Roger Stone was apparently asked questions about January 6th, and he took the fifth on it. Mike Flynn was asked if he believed in a peaceful transfer of power, and he took the fifth on it. So who Trump was talking to on his phone, when he was, I guess like when with the whole Mike Pence disappointed us, they can show that this phone was active and the Twitter account was active. So Trump can't blame some campaign staffer who had access to his Twitter account because they know it came from this phone and it's Trump's phone. So that's pretty much where I'm going with this. All new information coming out and defenses and strategies put together by Trump associates are out the window. Because now you have to explain all these phone calls that you couldn't remember at the time. Overarching is disappointment, sadness, not quite betrayal, but I don't think this is for the Department of Justice. Like, some people are going to get out, or, it could be sad if you don't get but the phone was never tapped. But I do think that this is a sadness and a loss for those who were in contact with Trump during this time. It's the overarching energy. This information just got released. The person who's going to react strongest to this are the people just finding out this information now. That's why I think this sadness card, this disappointment card, goes towards the Roger Stones and the Mike Flynn's and the Jim Jordans and other people that were in contact with Trump during the insurrection. Lesson to be learned is temperance. The DOJ has been patient. They've been silent. They only reveal information when they need to reveal information. They've had time. Lord knows how long they've had this phone and this information, which means they've had time to put together a timeline, to confirm information. You can go back through the January 6th testimonies and look to what people said, and then you can confirm it with what you know from the phone records. You can take all these statements and put together a timeline, and guess what? You know who's lying, and you know who's telling the truth. That's a good thing to have in your back pocket. Outcome brings an end. It's going to bring this case to a crashing end. The king is dead. Long live the king. The king is not going to survive this. Yeah, this is just it's just another big blow to Donald Trump's January 6th case, and also understand that this is something that the Supreme Court will have some information for. So, this card's about the planning. Getting that information allowed them to do planning, but it also impacts their filing with the Supreme Court and their ability to argue whether or not Donald Trump, as the President of the United States, is immune to all crimes or not. It just... Yeah. Is it the Holy Grail? It sure looks like it. Are Trump's associates going to suffer for this? It sure looks like it. Last Spirit, one last thing. What else can you tell us? High level, what else can you tell us about the revelation about these phone records being available to the Department of Justice and Jack Smith with regards to this January 6th insurrection investigation? Is there anything else you can tell us? I have visions of Ginny Thomas in mind. Let's see. My deck. No. The leaving card. What else can you tell us? The leaving card. The leaving card. The leaving card. Is that Trump leaving? Him fleeing the country? Oh, keeping information, keeping a lid on stuff. It's funny if you do this as a reversal. It's people coming in as opposed to leaving. Queen of Cups. So I think the Queen of Cups. People were circling around Trump and protecting him, but now that this, when you keep this information silent, you blow the top off on it, and people are going to go running for the doors, or they're going to come running in for their plea deals. Yeah, I think whoever has some liability, they need to evaluate now what's their culpability and their liability with this information coming out now that it's been released. The first person in gets the best deal. This is going to be about, again, insurrection, the January 6th insurrection, the fighting that went on. I'm going to be very concerned if this has anything to do with the Secret Service. There's stuff that they've not told us yet. There's stuff that the federal government hasn't told us yet that will be revealed in time. They're evaluating this data. I don't think this is like the Trumpsters. This is more people are going to get caught up in this. They're going to get caught up in this. People that have been, who have distanced themselves from Trump and distanced themselves from January 6th, but were involved in the insurrection. They're going to get caught up in this. And I think Jack Smith and team are evaluating that. It's almost like, kind of the analogy, this is not the best analogy here, but kind of the analogy would be, when you release the videos, without the blurred faces, of course, and then there's people that can identify who the insurrectionists were. Now that this, even though they've gone home, you can still identify them because you got their phone numbers and you got their faces and their social media accounts. Now, in this case, people who maybe thought they got away with it, that 8 of coins, that 7 of coins, now they're not so sure they got away with it. And the Department of Justice is really quiet. They don't open their mouth. They don't reveal what they have, and they let out as little information as possible. But they've got more coming. There's going to be more fallout from this than what's been revealed. At least that's when I'm interpreting this. So, keep your hopes up that Jack Smith will get his case done and it will be brought to a successful conclusion. Okay? All right. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words, your likes, and your shares, and everything you do to feed the algorithm so that my video makes it out to a wider audience. To new viewers, new subscribers to the channel, welcome. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Hey, stop. Maybe I'll hit the pause button and it'll crash it. Let's try that again. Bye-bye.